Welcome to C3 In This Together, 30 minutes in our own voice, a mental health awareness series. Today's topic, maternal health experiences, fertility, pregnancy, partum, and loss. Today, we will hear from someone who's helping others cope, manage, and navigate mental health experiences. My friends, my hope is that together we will be the generation that ends the silence, the shame, and the stigma of health conditions. Today, our guest, I am so excited, my friends. Our guest is Dr. Renee Gooden-Clarke. She is the owner and vice president of Dykal Health and Wellness in South Florida, where Dr. Renee specializes in primary care and chronic health management. She is a passionate speaker and an advocate for health promotion. She's frequently sought out to address topics such as obesity development, infertility, and gender-specific health strategies. Wow, wow, wow. We've got a heavy hitter here today, people. Dr. Renee Gooden-Clarke, she holds multiple advanced degrees, a bachelor's in nursing, two master's degrees, one in nursing education, and one as a family nurse practitioner. And of course, a doctorate in nursing practice. Wow, wow, wow. So I've said all of that, but more importantly, Dr. Renee Gooden-Clarke is a dear friend of mine. Would you help me welcome this amazing woman, Dr. Renee? Welcome aboard, my friend.
Thank you.
It's just a
My
delight.
pleasure.
Yeah, it's a delight to have you. I've been looking forward to this time.
Yes,
Certainly, we are colleagues in the clinical field, you from
yes,
the medical side and me from the mental health field, but you are a dear friend, as I
yes.
mentioned. But before we dive into our time together, Dr. Renee, what's my point? If our women are not okay, then we are not okay. Can I
We're
say that
not
again really
okay.
loud?
We're
If
not
our
okay.
women are not okay, then we are
Hmm.
not okay. We want women to
Absolutely.
know that we see you, we hear you, we value you, and you matter. And of
Yes,
course, your journey matters. Man, that was a
yes.
lot.
That
That was a
heavy,
mouthful.
layered.
That was layered, right?
Yes.
Man.
Oh
But
my gosh.
yeah, let me pause right here. You want to speak to that before we get into our first question?
We have finally been able to create some level of space for our women. We are finally able to unpack years and years of the emotional trauma that women have been facing for decades, hundreds of years.
Wow.
And our women have been crying out for a very long time. And it seems like nobody had been listening.
Wow.
And I am so happy with what you said. We see you, we hear you, we value your all the things that you have gone through.
Yes.
And we are now saying we're creating space for you and we are working collaboratively with you to find real life answers for your real life situations because baby
Wow.
it is not easy out there for you. We're
Whoa.
not going to sweep this under the rug. That was done years and decades. We see what that led to for so many of your foremothers. We're not going to do that to you.
Mm. Wow. I just wanted to take that in, right?
Yes,
Real life issues, right?
yes.
That's what we're speaking
We
to.
can't pray this away. We're not going to do that. Yes, it is important, but we have to find real life solutions for you.
Wow.
Absolutely. That
Absolutely.
is one tool, but we have to incorporate other tools as well.
Absolutely. Wow, wow, wow. And you often hear me say this, those of you who are a part of our 30 Minutes in Our Own Voice series, that we bring to you, we incorporate the faith experience because many of our guests, and starting with me, we are embedded in the faith community. It's who we
Yes,
are, it's how we cope, it's how we manage, it's how we navigate. So
yes,
we understand our responsibility to speak to that demographic as well. So what you just heard Dr. Renee speak to in a small portion was that faith community, which I'm grateful that she's part of that community as well.
yes.
So let's speak to this first question. First question I'd like for you to kind of speak to is this. Tell us, in small measures, tell us about your work surrounding maternal health as it relates to fertility, pregnancy, partum, loss, and then I'd like for you to speak to prepartum a little bit as well as peripartum, right? Because oftentimes we speak about postpartum, but we don't really speak a lot about, as I mentioned, those other aspects, the prepartum aspect of what women face as well as peripartum. So can you speak to that?
So I'll try to keep it as short as possible. 20 years in healthcare, my main focus has always been in women's health.
Mm.
And part of that women's health was always in labor and delivery. So a lot of intrapartum.
Wow.
Then my job took me along another path where I am now working with women who are having infertility issues.
Mhm.
And the irony of that is I am on my own infertility journey. So initially I wondered, what exactly is my journey here for? Why am I having this issue with my own husband of 21 years of marriage? What is the reason for my struggle? And when I stumbled upon this aspect of my life, where this is what I'm doing in my career, in our business, Dykal, working with women who have polycystic ovarian syndrome, men with low to no sperm count. And I am seeing these things coming to the office and now having to speak a truth I never even wanted to speak about. I am seeing some realities, some that I can help because I now know what not to do and what to do, how to identify things very early on and say, come on, girl, no, we're not going to do that. Or, sir, I'm going to need you to stop drinking the oats. It's only going to bloat you. Let us do it this way. I know that's what your grandfather said. He was a lie. Not so, sir. We're going to go to the sperm lab and we're going to have that done first. You could drink the oats every now and then, but that's not the cure, my darling. So we learn to demystify certain stereotypes from our culture and actually give people evidence-based medicine.
There you go.
So what I'm saying is I am speaking different languages to those aspects of care that I wish I had 21 years ago. And I wish the clinicians that were taking care of my husband and I 21 years ago had sat us down and not said to us, you guys are young, you have time.
Mm.
So when my young people come to me, I don't tell them that they are young, they have time. My conversation looks different. My conversation says, what do you want to accomplish? Do you have a good insurance where there's egg banking options? Can you bank and donate those eggs right now? Because I want you to know that those are options for you. If you are married, do you want to do embryos that you can save for later on? Because sickness does not have an address that it will skip. You could be, if you are married, do you want to do embryos that you can save for later on? Because sickness does not have an address that it will skip. You could be completely whole today and cancer comes knocking and they have no time but to start chemotherapy tomorrow. And everything goes downhill from there. So infertility, that's a major one.
Mm-hmm.
Early pregnancy, had this very conversation today. Because there is such a thing as depression, especially that first trimester. The young lady is a patient of mine for the past 2 years. She was actually in my weight loss program. Found out inadvertently that she was pregnant because she said to me, I'm going to stop the weight loss program in February and then I'm going to try to get pregnant. Well, it didn't go that way. She got pregnant first. And it was while she was prepping for her trip to go on a cruise that I just randomly said, girl, just maybe just carry some extra stuff, take a pregnancy test while you're at it. And she randomly took a pregnancy test and it was positive. And now she is faced with, I wasn't ready.
Wow.
She didn't plan this through. So she is thrown into an entire depressive state in what is supposed to be a happy time. First trimester, she's not having nausea. She's not having vomiting. She's not having the typical things that could potentially cause that part. She's supposed to be happy. But says who? Who put those standards for her to level up to? Nobody. And I had to say to her, I am asking you to make room for grief. Wow. Grieving what you thought you could have had, because she was 10 pounds away from her goal of her weight loss. She needed someone today to say to her, make room to grieve that 10 pounds that you did not get to.
Wow, Dr.
No,
Renee,
I'm not.
can you stay right there with that? Because I feel like some person will be watching this, some lived experience, and I really want to highlight that. Make room for grief.
Yes.
The doctor
and
has
although
given you space for that to say,
yes,
make room for grief. Wow.
It might seem very terrible of a thing for me to say because there is someone out there, including myself, who would want to be pregnant.
Whoa.
But it's not about the pregnancy. It's about her experience that she's living right now. And she's saying, I wasn't ready. It's not that I am loathing what's happening with me. It's just about the timing. And I'm a professional and there were things. She does things in order. She's that type A personality that just wanted time to plan. Wow. And I want to say to her, things will get better, but that's just going to put a little Band-Aid over a deep wound.
Wow.
So all I could say is take the time you need to grieve. Wow. Because she's going to fall into a deep depression if she does not do that. So there is intra-pregnancy depression.
Wow.
And that can spiral out of control if persons don't have people to support them through that. Wow. And if they're not sitting in rooms where women can identify that and speak life into those young women. And that can also spiral out of control going into postpartum depression. And like Dr. Morais says, that postpartum depression, yes, that can start right away, or it can certainly show up in the first 3 months after delivery, and it can last up to 1 to 2 years afterwards. And it can then turn over into something else. And you're talking about not just self-harm, but also harm to your baby. And then homicidal ideations can come out of that as well. So we have to be very, very careful. And we're happy when our moms have their babies and everything look great. But when you see that mother and she's not taking care of herself so well, she is not dressing that well. Did you take a shower? She's refusing help. We need to pay attention to these young women.
Wow. Absolutely.
She's not a strong Black woman. Stop it.
Wow. Or a strong Black African American, Caribbean, or a strong white woman, or a strong Asian woman, or a strong Hispanic woman, strong European woman. Let's go down the list, right? We put those labels.
Those labels are
expect
unfair.
you to be superwoman.
Yes.
Wow.
They're unfair.
Wow.
They're unfair and unfounded.
Dr. Renee, let me pause right here, and thank you for allowing me to do that earlier. Thank you, number one, for sharing your lived experience.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you're on this journey, of course, as an accomplished, expert in the field.
Yes.
But there'll be many who will be listening that your story will now give voice to their own story. So thank you for
Absolutely.
that. And may we
Yes.
challenge people to do what Dr. Renee has done as as you walk through your own space
Yes.
of, grieving, acceptance, denial, all those things that happens within that grief cycle. And as you come out up onto the other side, we ask that you find space to share
Sure.
your own story because you
Hmm.
will do what Dr. Renee has done. Let's move
Yeah.
to the next question here. What are some things that you would say to an individual, and you've shared some of that already, but specifically to the individual who's navigating maternal health, right? Fertility, pregnancy, partum, loss. What would you say to them? And then also, what would you say to someone who is caring for a loved one who's navigating maternal health?
Yeah. That's a great thing. First of all, I want to speak with our caregivers
Mm,
prior to even speaking to us.
wow.
I want the caregivers to recognize, especially in the infertility space, at least 39% of women going through the infertility space, they are going to have some form of mental health issue. It might be an anxiety thing, it might be a depressive thing, it might be, that persistent depression as well. I think it's called dysthymia.
Hmm.
And in the men side, it's 15% of men that will experience that. So don't take it for granted that this person is just coming in for IVF and it's just, you know, another set of people coming in. This journey is probably going to be the hardest thing these people ever do, other than the fact that it is going to cost them their house and land. These people are depending on you. So when they come in for consultation, also try to see if you can steer them along the path of maybe having a counseling visit, a mental health
Thank you for
visit.
that. Thank you for that.
Have you had a mental health visit?
Thank you
Because
for that.
these individuals, more than likely, this is the furthest thing from their thought. But this mental health visit might just be what the doctor ordered because it is going to help them to
Yeah.
navigate the intricacies of the anxiety and the depression and the dysthymia that is going to come for sure with the process of infertility management. The financial parts, we already know $30,000 a pop. And that is a good price. And that's sometimes without meds. Okay. So you're talking about the financial implication, the mental implication, the spiritual implication, the physical rundown on your body. I could go into all of those, but for the sake of time, just think about that part. That's just for the caregivers in the sense of the physicians, the clinicians, the care team. Okay. When it comes on to the regular caregivers, meaning the individuals that are in our homes, the
Yes.
support system, maybe our spiritual caregivers, I want those persons to understand the vantage point that you have. Because had they not been really raw, they see the big picture. They see the big picture of my life, even when I cannot even see the hand in front of my face
Wow.
on a daily basis. Those are your people.
Your
Those
caregiver.
are your village. They are your biggest supporters. And when you cannot see how it's going to work out for you, they are the ones who will send a quick message. They're the ones who you will see a Zelle or a PayPal come in and you ask them, is this a mistake? You sent it to the wrong Renee. And for me as an individual,
Mm-hmm.
I have come to realize that I need to make space in my life for people because I have been so closed off due to hurt that I'm suspicious of everything and everyone that's coming. Who sent you? Why are you here? Why are you giving to me? Why are you loving on me? I'm always just very suspicious. Why did you send me that? What's your motive? I have not made room for the love that God is sending my way because I'm in that 39.1% with the anxiety and the depression, and everything has compounded itself.
Wow.
And I have not learned to just let go of those layers. My foremothers' trauma that was unhealed has just been layered on top of me. And I have not given myself the space nor the grace to receive the healing that's coming towards me. And I'm nowhere in the antepartum, postpartum. I'm nowhere near that. I'm in the infertility stage. And I've not allowed myself to bear the fruit of it all because I have the capacity to bear fruit. But I've held on to this infertility journey so much that when the people come to speak that life word, I cannot receive it. There
Amazing,
is life in the room.
amazing, amazing. Wow, amazing. So
You're
someone
in a
listening,
room where people speak life and you can't receive it, Dr. Cassell.
wow. For those listening, I hope you kind of sense the space that's been created here for your journey surrounding uh, maternal health, mental health. I trust that you'll receive that in this moment, right?
Yeah,
As Dr. Renee Gooden-Clarke has shared, not only as a practitioner, but also from her lived experience. Dr.
yeah,
Renee, thank you. Thank you for creating such a space. There are many who will watch this,
yeah,
and we can only imagine all of what will be done from this space that you've created. Just a wealth
yes,
of information that you've given, but I want to highlight just some things that you've said.
yeah,
You've given people permission to grieve,
yes,
given people to experience the paradox of this journey, both joy and also grief as well. For
yes.
many, they will wrestle with that, right? They will
Mm-hmm.
wrestle with this idea of a great experience, but also I'm experiencing grief as well. Thank you for
Mm-hmm.
that. I thank you for how you've challenged caregivers to create safe places
Yes,
for those who are, for women who are journeying through maternal health experiences. May we as caregivers hear that as professionals, as loved ones, as husbands, fathers, and the list goes on,
mm-hmm.
clergy, friends, aunties, uncles, right? May we um, do what you said earlier, recognize the signs and the symptoms. And you mentioned some
Yes,
of those, right? And I really want to highlight that about some of the symptoms that you might see, right? Symptoms are what the person reports, signs are
yes,
what you see, changes in their
exactly.
eating habit, changes in their sleeping habits, changes in their attire, in their mood. Are they isolated?
Yeah,
Are they, expressing that they feel down, depressed, anxious, on edge? You want to look for those things, right? Those signs and those symptoms. And as a mental health practitioner, we often ask questions. What are the signs? What are the symptoms? What's the
yes.
impact? How is it
Mm-hmm.
impacting their daily
Quality
functioning,
of life.
their
Yeah.
quality of life, and the
Mm-hmm.
duration? If this is happening more than 2 weeks, nearly every day, then it says to
Yes,
you need to speak to a professional to get some help. My
exactly.
friend, Dr. Renee, this has been absolutely amazing. We could spend another 2 hours just
Yeah.
diving deep and making sure that we hear the heart of those who are journeying. I did want to circle back and
Yes.
let's just take this last few minutes here. And would you allow me to ask this question?
Mm-hmm.
What can I do as a male caregiver? There will be males who are watching, who will watch this, and we want to know, what do we do for our loved ones in caring for them as they are navigating these maternal experiences. So, can you just speak specifically to males,
Yes.
husbands, fathers, uncles, male clergy, professionals, collaborative care workers who are male? What would you say to us about caring for those, for women who are navigating this journey?
First of all, I 100% love and appreciate you for even asking that question. Secondly, it's going to look different for each scenario. But if I were you talking to my wife, I'm going to go to the source. Kevin is going to come to me and he's going to say, babe, how can I best support you?
Wow.
How can I show up for you? Because what may work as showing up for Diane may not be what works showing up for Renee. See, Renee may still have the capacity to get up and prep her meals, but Diane may not. Diane may need more help for taking care of the baby during the hours of 2 a.m. to 6. She would prefer to sleep during that time. For the clergy might be able to work collaboratively with
Yes.
women to bring in professionals once a month to have these types of talks from professional organizations or individuals with this level of knowledge and expertise that may benefit women as their congregants. Um, the clergy might be able to set up these things once a year or something like that, right? They can talk to their members to see, hey, this wasn't what was happening in our days. However, we see that there is a need in the house for support. How can we best support you? We don't want another baby mother story. We don't want another single mother statistic. We don't want another mother going through depression by herself at home, feeling alone. How can we be there? We have enough women's group. We don't want another WhatsApp chat. We don't, you see what I'm saying?
Wow.
We need to go to the source because that is going to look different for different persons. And we can group those things together and put some plans in place. And we can trial things over time, especially the large scale things. Give it a good 3 months. And if that after 3 months seems to be the thing that's working, let's stick to it. But we need to start somewhere. We need to start somewhere. In the home, it's probably going to be the one or two things that the wife says. That 2 to 6 time frame, baby, let me sleep in.
Wow.
Okay, done deal. For me, babe, maybe you could just handle the dinner time and let me work with the breakfast and the lunch.
Wow.
Done deal. Those are simple things because for us as women, we just want little things sometimes. It's not the ring and the this and the that. Sometimes it's the simple things. Don't bring me roses when all I needed was a cup of tea. Because all I'm going to be thinking, holding that rose in my hand, I could really use a cup of tea.
Wow.
It's that love language. Does your church speak in love to you? Does your
Wow.
community speak in love to you? Do your caregivers speak in love to you? And that is the overarching question here.
Wow.
And have you communicated how to love you in your time of need?
Wow, wow, wow. Dr. Renee, this has been, as mentioned earlier, a wealth of knowledge. Thank you again for your expertise, but more so, thank you for your heart. And I believe, more than believe, I know that that's what will resonate with those who will watch this. They will play this over and over, and they will feel that love language coming across the screen. They'll feel that from you. They will feel that from this series as we take a look at letting women know that we see you, we hear you, we value you. We're on this journey with you and we're supporting you.
Yeah.
Let me take this time as well to highlight um, uh, those of you men, those of us men who are attempting to do what Dr. Renee says, to be listening for those cues on how we can journey with you. Dr. Renee, how can we reach out to you? How can people connect with the amazing work that you're doing there at Dykal in South Florida, of course? We know that you travel extensively. How can organizations, how can faith-based communities, how can they reach out to you? How can us as mental health practitioners reach out to you to get the help that we need in terms of collaborative care?
Definitely. So I make myself very available to one and all. If persons are looking to actually book appointments to see me as a clinician, you can directly book from my website. It is www.dykalwellness, that is Dykal wellness.com. On that same web page, you have the services broken down: men's health, women's health, and you can choose from a plethora of things. If it is women's health, you can choose from a telehealth, or which is a virtual visit, just like a Zoom consultation. And you can also choose an in person visit. They are at the same cost, there's no difference.
Wow.
The other options that are there, you can certainly make an inquiry at the bottom of the page. So, say for example, you wanted a mentorship, you wanted to inquire about my availability to speak at certain engagements, to engage in this fashion like podcasts and so on. At the bottom of the page, we have that particular link. You can fill out that form to the best of your ability. If you already have dates available, it comes directly to us and we will respond to you in 48 hours. So that one is very, very easy. So all the church-based organizations, they usually will use that, quick form, very simple, few questions. And once we get back to you, then I will send the information off with all of my contacts and whatever payment forms and whatever is necessary, contracts, because we try to make sure we do things by the book and legally and all of that. If you wanted to have any further contact, my phone number on my page, you can call, text, or WhatsApp. That is my business number. So whether you're international, the WhatsApp number will work. It's the same business line. So you can call, text, or WhatsApp 954 408 0125. That is 954 408 0125. Last but not least, there is a email address, customer service at dykalwellness.com. Customer service at dykalwellness.com. And that will get you again to our CEO. It will get you to me. I mean, I've given you everything but my social tonight.
I was gonna ask for your bank account.
I
Was gonna
know
ask for your social
at this
security.
point,
I was gonna ask for everything.
firstborn.
Listen, this is what I'll do. Once we're done here, I will get all that information for myself. I'm not gonna share that with anybody else. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Renee, this has been amazing again.
Such a
For all
pleasure.
that you do, the work that you
Such a pleasure.
along with your husband, Dr. Kevin. My
Yes,
friend, as we bring this to a close, we always want to remind you if you or your loved one might find yourself in crisis, please
yes,
always feel free to contact the 988 line, which is the
yes,
24 hour, 7 day a week national crisis and suicide lifeline. So again, if you find yourself in crisis or maybe a loved one, please, that will come on the screen, as well as Dr. Renee's information will come on the screen as well. Also, we invite you, if you want more resources surrounding mental health, please visit the National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI.org. That will also come on the screen. And then finally, as always, we invite you to visit our own website, C3 In This Together. And of course, if you were impacted by this video, please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, C3 In This Together, share this video, and let us know how you've been impacted by this. My friends, we hope to see you again for the next installment of 30 Minutes in Our Own Voice. Dr. Renee, my friend, thank you
Thank
so much
you.
again for all that you do. Continued
Yes.
favor, success, blessings,
Thank you.
all of those things that will come your way simply because of your heart and not only because of your expertise.
I
Thank you, my
appreciate
friend.
it.
We'll see you soon, my friends.
See you soon. Thank you. Have a good night.